This tutorial is going to show you Powtoons and how to use it with your class. I've done some tutorials before on Powtoons, but they've changed their entire interface and how it looks. It's actually a little easier now. So I'd like to kind of go through again and show you where things are placed in some of the new features. So if you haven't already created an account, you can create one here. Okay, you'll notice this is a totally free program available on any platform. It's really not worth paying for any of the extra artwork and stuff. It's really, there's a lot that's offered for free, and you can import some of your own images. So for school use, you're really not going to pay for it, but you can really get a whole lot out of the free version. So I'm going to log in because I already have an account. Powtoons can be used in any subject. The kids love it because they make animated videos, and it's just a great way to show what they know. There's also a slides version, so sort of like a Google Slides or PowerPoint, which has a little more creativity to it. But right now, we're just going to work on Studio. Okay, so this is your dashboard. Once you sign in, if you already have an account, there's your login. Okay, and these are some palettes I've already made, Powtoons, and we're going to look at some of the new interface and new features. So we're going to start by making a new Powtoon. So we want to create one. And they give you options of ready-made templates. There's tons of them here that you can take that actual theme and adapt it to your own needs if you want. We're going to start from scratch today. You can see as you go through, some of them have this little flag on them. EDU means it's available if you pay for the education version. EDU and Pro is more for businesses. If you were going to pay for a version and you weren't a school or a school district, it would be Pro. So the ones that are labeled with this little blue flag are the ones you'd have to pay for. So to use one of these templates or to start from scratch, you're going to hit Edit. Sometimes it takes a little time for Powtoons to load because there are so many graphics that, especially if you're using it in class, it's going to take time, and a few students will pop up at a time. They just have to be a little patient because it's a little bit of an overload on the system. You can see all of these different artwork and resources and things being loaded, so it takes a little time. And it will pop up the first time you use it with sort of like these help icons on the desk in tutorials. If you just want to forego that and pass it, just say got it. It'll get rid of it. Now it kind of defaults to this with some of these things on your page because it's sort of a way of showing you how to use Powtoons. So the first thing I usually do is just kind of click on them and delete them. So I'm just going to go through. This you can't get rid of in the free version. It'll always have created with Powtoons, and you're going to have that little Powtoons at the end because those are a watermark that you really can't get rid of. So the first thing you want to do is you want to title your Powtoon. So I'm going to call it Practice Powtoon, and I want to save it. It does auto-save periodically, but after you make some large edits, I would manually save it as well, because if something crashes or something happens with the computer in the couple of minutes between the auto-save and when you added that, you could lose it. And with a program of this size, with so many graphics and things, it's not uncommon for that to happen. So I would just make sure you get in the habit of kind of saving. I know it's difficult today, a lot of things auto-save, but it'd be a good idea to just kind of manually save that every once in a while. So right now I want to go in customize mode because I want to change it. So you just kind of click on that, it toggles over. Okay? And then you're going to get this whole tutorial again, which is very helpful. If you'd like, it'll help. But I'm going to go through a lot of what's in this tutorial. Okay? So for me, I don't want to show it again. You may just want to skip it and go back to it another time. If you've used Powtoons previously, it still works the same. It's just that they changed the way everything looks. I think they made it a lot more user-friendly and easier to access their different features and graphics. So we're going to go through some of that. Some of it may seem familiar. It might just be in a different place, which is why we're recreating this tutorial. So layouts, there are different layouts with all different templates, different styles. Layouts is really, for Powtoons, it's kind of styles. And the first thing it asks you to do is to choose it. Now, if you've noticed, if you scroll up and down here, you may have to do that depending on the computer screen you're looking at to kind of see all the features, because it could cut some off. Right here are the different styles. So I'm going to use this little scroll bar on the side, and you'll see the different styles there are. Okay, some of them will be pay styles, and some may not. So if you click on it, you will see that. And one of the things to be careful is if you're new to Powtoons, I'm not new, so I don't have the option on mine, but you'll notice if you're new, if you've just created an account, it's going to tell you that you have 2 free days to try the new graphics, and you can do that, but after those 2 days, if you don't pay to upgrade, you're going to lose it. So if you have a Powtoon with some of those elements in there, they will not be there after the trial period. So you may want to just stay away from them unless you're going to be using this within 2 days. So there's different styles here. And within every style, no matter which style I pick over here, I'm going to have these options along the side here. So you have backgrounds. So right now I'm going to click in the infographic style. And there are several backgrounds that you can choose. You can see them all here. Okay, you can upload your own. But if you scroll down, there are several backgrounds. And in each section they have more. So if you like, animated backgrounds, there's more there. If you just want a colored background, the next section I'll scroll down, and you can see there's more. So there's tons of different resources here that you can pick. So I'm going to pick something simple for now. I'm going to pick that one. When I click, it just puts it on my screen. Now every style has different backgrounds. So if I go back to layouts, if I go to one of the other styles, so these are the different backgrounds for infographics. If I go to the styles of different layouts, there'll be different backgrounds. So I want to bring this back up so I have this meeting. So now I'm in the infographic style. Within each style there are different text boxes. So when you're adding text, if you click here, it's asking you if you're adding a title or body text. Depending on what you pick, you may be limited in your choices. So title is not going to have all the different fonts that body text may have. You may have more editing customization options if you're using body text, if you want to put a little more text on the page. So you can see, you can just have a text box, or you can have some of these elements. Maybe you want it to look like a cartoon and they're talking, speech bubbles. You can do that here. Okay, and there's different options here, and then some other icons and graphics to put text in. So maybe you want to have like this banner type and put some text in there. So after text you have library, and this is where a large amount of the graphics are, where different characters and things are. So you can see there's different people here, and if you hover over, so this like one particular man right here, you can see his hand is kind of waving back and forth, and when you hover over, these are all the options. So you can have this man saying hello, he can be happy jumping up and down, we can have a sad face and he's kind of frowning. There's a couple of different options, and a lot of times you have that for all the different elements here. So if I want this one, I'm going to click on it, and it puts it right into my Powtoon. And I want this happy little waving teacher. And then I can just kind of grab on it and move down. Now when you put in an element such as this, you'll see you'll have these different options. This option is to change the pose. So right now, it brings back all of those other, if I don't want her happy and waving there, I can change it. Okay, but I'm going to leave that for now. Swapping means you want to swap it out with a different character or different icon or any other image. So you would swap it out for that. The animation settings. Right now, if you don't want this to be an animated character, you can hit no animation and she will stop. If you wanted to play, but you only wanted to do that once, so let's say you wanted to wave once in the beginning, you would, or as many times as you want, you can customize that. You would have it play and only go one time and see she did it once and stopped. If you wanted to play in a loop, which is the default, she'll just keep doing this for as long as she's on the screen. Okay, so you have some customization options there, and I'm going to re-highlight because we can also flip. Okay, so if you want to change horizontally, that's where you would do that. So when you look in this library, you can see if you hit more, there'll be way more characters. Okay, and then there's props. There's all different icons and graphics, and there's tons of stuff in here, like I said, and this is all free if you use the free themes. So you can go through this and just look for all the different options. You can even search. Okay, so if there's a specific character you're looking for, like maybe a woman or a man or a child, if you noticed this one only seemed to have adults in it. Oh, there's some kids down there. But if there's something specific you're looking for, you can always type it in and search. Next thing you can add is different objects. So if you click on objects, you'll see speech bubbles, you'll see shapes, you'll see all different types of things that you can add there, different lines, arrows. Okay? And again, you can search for something specific. You can add graphs. Okay, so you can have a pie graph, you can have these different graphs, and then you can edit them. So you can put in, let's say, this line graph I want. And if you click on the edit button, a little hard to see, let's put it on the chalkboard, you can actually enter your data so that you can have this actually mirror true data that you want. And I'm going to just exit out for now, but that's another option that you have here. And I'm going to delete it because it's a little hard to see. Sound. Okay, you can add sound, and there's a couple of different options here. You can add a soundtrack. So if you click on that, Powtoons actually gives you several tracks for free. You can see what they sound like. So again, if it says add, it's usable. If it's upgrade, you can't. Okay, you have to pay for it. So maybe you just want background music if you're not going to really have talking. Okay, and you can see what it sounds like here. Okay, so if I want this in my background, I would hit add and apply. It is recommended that you don't add your music until the end because you don't know the timing and all of that. So you're going to really do sound at the end. This is where you would do a voiceover. So if you want to actually speak on the animation, this is where you would do it, and you would create files and then you can import them in. And that's what voiceover track here. Voiceover track would be a voiceover for the entire Powtoons. Voiceover per slide would be you want it just to be per slide. So if you want to say something on this slide and then something different on the second slide, like if you're doing a digital story telling and you need it to pace with what you're saying, you can do it per slide. Okay, and this is where you record. And if you used an outside program, this is where you would upload your voice file. Media is where you would import your own media. So if you have your own graphics and your own pictures, that's where you can put in your own images. You can do an image search right from in here, right in Powtoons, and you can add video. And these are style image holders. So if you could see, there's a computer screen or a TV. So you can actually put these on the screen and then import a video, and it looks like it's running on the TV screen. Now before I mention different layouts, so if you come up to here, this layout is called the office. So all of these graphics are graphics that they feel you will find in an office. And it varies because you can see this one is a classroom, or there's different images. So for every different style, so I'm going to click on this drop down menu. At the top here is where you see all these different styles. So you can mix and match styles within your one Powtoon. You don't have to stay within that one. So let's say I want to use this style now. I just click on it. Now it's going to bring up the options with all the icons and graphics for this style. This is always going to stay the same. There will be media and objects and different text and different library items for this style. And you can scroll down. So I'm going to just pick this one. And you can see you can mix and match. Okay, so maybe we have this shadow sitting on the desk. And again, these handles are how you can resize. And I'm going to move, click and drag. So you don't have to stay within that style. You can find varied styles. Now if you see, like this one is free. Work Life, and I have to click off it so you can see it. At the top, that little purple banner that says business. Okay, and on this one it says business. Those are the ones you have to pay for. If nothing is there, it's free. So the line icons are free. The infographic style is free. This marker style is free. And you can go through and see. Okay? So Pro, Office. Now notice I was in the Office, which is a paid version. So it's going to give me the trial, but then after that trial period is up, it's going to go away. So it's going to be incomplete. I'm not going to get to see all of my Powtoons in there. So now I'm going to stick with this, okay? And over here is where you have your different slides, okay? It always defaults to the one slide. So I want to add a slide here so I can show you some of the other options. And I want to find a background that's just a little bit easier to see. So we can add some things on there. So let's put Pleasant Style. I want to use it. And I want to go to my backgrounds. And I just want to pick white for now. Okay, so you can always see your slideshow over here. Okay, you can always keep adding slides here. This right here is for transitions between the slides. If you click on it, transitions are how your slides come in and out. So you can zoom out, okay, it could slice, it can go fan, it can do all different sorts of shapes. We're going to put that in when we get a couple of slides. But this is where you would add transitions. So for now I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to go back to my original slide. Under every slide you will see this timeline. You can add time to this timeline. So right now every slide defaults to 10 seconds. You can go up to 20 seconds. You can't go past the 20 seconds. So if you need a scene to go longer, you can just add another slide with all the same information and have it extend. When working with your slides, you're going to have to kind of play and replay them to see if your timing is correct. So if you look at my timeline down here, this is where I am at that point. So if I kind of go back to the beginning, as I put elements in, they're down here. So you can see this, the woman waving is here, but that other character doesn't come in until 2 seconds. I'm going to play to show you. So if you click play, he kind of slides in later. So maybe I don't want her to be at the start of the slide. I would actually take it and move it to where I want. So I have to click on it. So now I'm on her icon. And now I can take it, and let's say I want her to come in at 1 second. I'm going to go up here where this slide bar, see how my cursor changes? And I'm just going to move it in there. So she's going to fade in, okay, at 1 second. This is the transition of how she comes in. If I click on it, I just have to scroll down because some of the menus go off your screen. These are the different options. So she can fade in, she can pop in, she can swipe in or come up from the bottom. I'm going to do a pop so you can see the difference. So now when I go back to the beginning, I have to bring my slider to the beginning and hit play. So now it's starting with my background. Nobody's there. She popped in, he slides over, and then nothing happens for the rest of that slide. I have to add what I want to happen. But everything is very customizable of how long you want items to stay. Maybe I want her to leave at 6 seconds. I'm going to click on it. Right now, this slider says she's coming in at 1 second and staying on till the end of the screen. Maybe I don't want that. So I'm going to take my drag, I'm going to slide over to 5.5. And maybe I want her to go down off the screen. So now I'm going to play it again, see if that's what I want. She pops in, he pops over, and she leaves. Now this is where a lot of the adjustment comes in, because maybe you, after watching it, it's on the screen too long or you want it longer. So you're going to find yourself playing and going back to tweak it a lot to get the actual desired effect that you want. So once you have your completed Powtoon, you want to export it. And you have your options to export to YouTube or Vimeo, social media. Some of these others you have to pay for. So I'm going to publish it to my Powtoons. They have their own server. Okay, so you have a name here. You would pick a category here, the different categories of where you would like it. I'm going to keep it in that. The only option you have is to keep it public, because the other ones you have to pay for. Okay, so this is a public Powtoons. You have to keep the logo here, okay, because it's a premium feature, and it's standard. So I'm just going to export it. Okay, and now your Powtoons is published. So if you go back to your dashboard to where all of your Powtoons are, and you pull down this pull-down menu here, you have your share options. So here is your link to your Powtoon. Okay, so this is the link that if students are doing this as a project and want to send it to their teacher, they can email them this link. If you are embedding this on your teacher page or a web page, this is the embed code. Okay, and those are your options. Okay, and there are all the rest of mine. So I'm just going to pull this back up. Okay, if you need to edit your Powtoons, you want to go back and change it, it is live, so if you make the changes, you edit it, you would click here, it'll bring you back into that editing menu. With this pull down menu here, you can see is your option to duplicate it or delete it. Okay, collaborating is only with the upgrade. That would be if you had several students working on one Powtoon. The free version, you can't do that, so you can't really do it as a group project. You'd have to have one student working on one Powtoon at a time. So Powtoon is a really powerful program that can be used in any subject. Students love it. It's a great way to show what they know as opposed to doing a slideshow or some other type of presentation. I've seen teachers do digital storytelling with this. It's really a great way. You can make tutorials on how to work with a certain topic. It's a great way for students to be creative, to use technology in your classroom. And if you'd like any further help, you can always contact a facilitator, fill out a request form, or just email me directly, and I'd be happy to come and help you and your students use Powtoons. I can even come in and give this tutorial to the students, or I can give it to the teacher who would like in turn give it to the students. But if you're not comfortable, you can always work with your classes and then kind of help the students create their Powtoon.